And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 82 of Player Life. It is Tuesday, the 16th of March here in Tokyo. Hope you are well. Hope you are well. Spark 55 in the house. What up, man? Hope you're well. Hope you are good on this Tuesday. So today I want to talk about the idea that governments are interfering in the relations between men and women more and more. Uh, it's just a thing that I've noticed. Javier in the house, what up, bro? What is good? Um, I saw an article in especially it was I think it's about the UK where there was some woman murdered in the UK, like that happens, like men, women, that happens in every country. You're not going to rule out. You're never going to get rid of all murder in any country. It's just going to be impossible to eradicate. But they're basically trying to make cold approach or illegal in the UK, and it's just crazy because we all know that it's only like the only guys that will get prosecuted, because like it's already illegal to like harass people. Um, those kinds of things. There are already laws to against like harassment, or sexual harassment or anything like that. So the laws are already in place, but they're just trying to like beef up the laws and strengthen make it just. They're literally just trying to make the divide between men and women even larger. um yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's just a fact. It's so obvious to see. uh Nice try, governor in the house. What is up? What is up, my man? Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. um I read the article. uh Problematic in the house. What is up? So, like, on the outside, it sounds, oh yeah, 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 they're just trying to protect women. They're just trying to, ensure that their safety and all this. But like I said, there are already laws against harassment and or like so, but so it's just giving more and more power to women to basically accuse men of harassment. So if it's a guy that they like, that approaches them and they think he's hot and they think he's attractive, that's not harassment. But if it's a guy that they don't like, that they're not into, that doesn't reach their really high standards, their inflated standards, then they have the power. Well, they might have the power to actually get the guy prosecuted. And let me see. Rishi in the house. What is up? Hope I'm good, man. I am very good. Very, very good. Happy to be in Japan. Looking at the crazy what's going on in the world. But like I said, it just gives women the power to basically prosecute guys or get them in trouble when if they're just they don't match their standards. And it just when there's alcohol involved, when it's like when when people are out and about in a nightclub or whatever, and some guy approaches a woman, as you do in a nightclub, and the woman might be intoxicated and feel like belligerent, and she might be like just want to get the guy in trouble, or she might want to get him she might just be insulted that he had the nerve to approach her, and so she'll accuse him of harassment, and then that could become like, illegal. Um, let's see. Nice try, Governor says harassment is subjective. I see a lot of how low value guys are getting arrested for just making a move on chick. Wow, wow, that's insane. Uh, I've never seen that, but I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all for a second. For a second, um, wouldn't doubt it. Let's see. I mean, I think I've told this story before on this show, but I'll tell it again, seeing as it's relevant. But so I was on a date with this Taiwanese chick, and by the way, Taiwanese chicks tend to have a bit of an attitude. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the ones I've met, but I did meet one nice Taiwanese chick, but I don't know. Just I've met more Taiwanese chicks with like bad attitudes than nice attitudes. But anyway, sidetracking. So I was on a date with her. She's like I'd say a solid 7. And she was dressed pretty. She was dressed pretty sexy too. So anyway, she was decent, let's just say. And we're just chatting. We're in a cafe, and I asked her, "So have you been to One Oak? It's a club in Tokyo. It's a famous club. Everyone knows about it." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I used to go there a lot. And, like I love Roppongi. Roppongi is like the ratchet nightlife area in Tokyo. So if a girl tells you in Tokyo that she loves Roppongi, that's like she's for the streets. She's let's just say done a lot of fellatio." um, but yeah, so yeah, I said. So she said, yeah, she used to go there a lot, and but she doesn't like it anymore. And I said, why don't you like it anymore? And then she said, well, last time I was there, some guy grabbed my ass when I was walking up the stairs, and I was like, oh yeah, that sucks. And then she said, I was about to stop talking to, I was like, oh, that sucks. Okay, gonna drop the subject. But then she said, well, on top of that, he wasn't even hot. And I was like, what do you mean he wasn't hot? And she said, yeah, he wasn't hot. And I was like, okay, what's that? Does that make a difference? And she was like, yeah, well, I mean, if he was hot, maybe it would have been okay. I guarantee you, I'm not making this up. Not making this up. I mean, she's saying this to my face. And she's like, is she trolling me? Like, is she? But yeah, I just don't think some girls are even aware. They're such bimbos that they're not even aware of what they're saying. But no, it was really like red pilling. I know it's just it was amazing to hear because it's so true. It's so true. Like if it, like honestly, yeah, obviously I'm not endorsing guys like grabbing girls in any way, but you shouldn't do it. But it's just a fact. Like if even if a girl's into you, you don't grab her. But I'm just saying if she's into you and you just suddenly grab her ass, it might be okay. Like but if I'm saying it might be okay, as in she might like not make a fuss about it. But if you're not her type, if she's like disgusted by you, she could, she'll make a huge deal about it and say that it's sexual harassment, even though it is sexual harassment in both instances, regardless of how hot the guy is or not. But the fact that she said that it would have been okay, she literally said that, but that's just a real red pill. And that's kind of an extreme example of approaches, like even when you're not like you don't lay a hand on them. I mean, we're just talking about simple approaches that could be called sexual harassment. In the case where it's a guy that they don't deem to be attractive or in their league, you're not in my league, oh my god, in that case they could, go to the authorities and say, "Oh, I've been sexually harassed. This guy I don't know. He started approaching me, started harassing me on the street." When in fact, it was probably just some guy saying, "Hello, what's up? Maybe we could have a coffee sometime." And then, it's not like that's not harassment. But if it's a guy that they like, if a guy that they deem like really attractive, then it's all above board. So it's just all about basically transferring power, more and more power to women, to control, like to entirely control the sexual marketplace. Ultimately, these like women would love if they like had entire control over the sexual marketplace, as in like cold approaches just stopped like zero approaches happened, where women could choose the top percent of guys and dismiss like 90% of the guys. Because yeah, we obviously, everyone in here is familiar with the term hypergamy, so women are obviously going to go for the top percent of guys, you know um and it would just suit them if it was illegal for guys to approach them. uh you know yeah. Javier says, what women are basically saying is, if you don't talk to my pussy, don't talk to me. Yeah, that's hit the nail on the head there. Um, uh, nice try, Governor says, I see this happening soon. Not that I've seen this personally. All right, okay, yeah, as in, yeah, yeah, I could see it happening too, especially in the UK. I'm sure it's already happened somewhere, for sure. Uh, Javier says, "Yep, I had to get Frank Castle on a girl messaging her online, and when she saw my body, she transformed from being masculine to feminine." Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So let's just see. Let's just see. I mean, we do remember there was a case. There was a case where, what was it? That comedian. I don't. What's his name? Aziz Ansari, where he hooked up with a girl, and it was all consensual, um, and I think she said she wanted to stop, and he stopped, and that was it, and there was nothing else. And then she wrote about it. She wrote about it that it was like it was as though she was like sexually harassed, even though there was no sexual harassment took place. And there was like, that was one of the I think that was one of the stories that really kind of deflated the whole Me Too movement, because it was so outrageous. It was so outrageous, and it had because it was so polarizing, because it had so much support from millions of women. Like, so millions of women supported it and thought it was like, oh yeah, I can relate to this. I can relate to the experience of hooking up with a guy and regretting it, and they feel like they feel like they've been harassed somehow, even though they were not. Like, it was all above board, but it's just like they regretted the sex, and people were just so disgusted at the idea that this could be, somehow classified as like, some kind of sexual assault, because it diminishes like actual sexual assault, like actual serious, because it's not sexual assault at all when like when if a girl just like regrets a sexual encounter that was consensual, it's obviously not sexual assault at all, like not even close to being sexual assault. But there were stories like this in the whole Me Too thing, and it really kind of deflated it a lot. But it's still around. That whole thing is, it's probably gonna be more. It's probably gonna blow up again. There'll be more. It's just they're not gonna let up, because the more power they can gain over men, they're not gonna want to give that up. They're not interested in inequality. They're interested in dominating dominating men controlling them, making them into slaves. Um, uh, see Joel's in the house. What up? What is up? What is good? Hope you're well. Matt W in the house. What up? Matt W says mail curfew for USA too. Mail curfew for USA too. Yeah, man. I mean, it could happen. I don't know. There already are curfews. I mean, was there curfews? I don't know. Was there curfews for? I'm sure some countries had curfews for the beer bug. Like, so if they're making curfews for the bear bug, there's nothing off the nothing's out of the question. People say, oh, you're conspiracy theorist, oh, you're crazy, you're just like oh, you're nuts, like where's your tinfoil hat? And then like a year later, the exact same thing. um the greatest example of that is like Alex Jones. That man's a legend. What a legend. Like, a lot of what he says actually comes true. He's not right about everything, but like a lot of what he says actually comes true. Um, Javier says women will say anything to make reality bend to their personal narrative. Exactly. Yeah. So let me share the article that I saw. Let me share. Okay, so Pub Stasi plan for undercover cops to patrol bars and clubs blasted. So here we have the womanists screaming on the streets. And it's so funny. These chicks like young enough, like maybe in their early 20s. This chick looks in her early 20s anyway. But this is when these womanists can be the most obnoxious because they think they're going to live forever. They think that they're all the attention that they get, all the kind of value that they're just born with, they're given. Like, they don't have to work for it. They're just given the, like, in terms of sexual marketplace value, they're just given like $1 million check. Like, and whereas most men are just given nothing. We start at the bottom. Men have to be made. I think Rollo Tomasi says, women just are, men have to be made. And that's a very true fact. But this is when they can be at their most obnoxious, because they're the loudest and the most screechiest, because they think that they're just these special creatures that are going to be able to push all this progressivism, all these ideas. I don't want to, I don't need no man. I don't want any kids. I don't, I don't want to be a housewife. I can't cook. I can't. Like, they wear that like a badge of honor. Like, they think that it's so it's like it's so cool not to be able to cook. I mean, I can cook. I don't shy away from cooking. And it's funny because like most of the famous chefs, most of the male, like the famous chefs, they're all men anyway. So it's like, remember, like, what was the guy, the meat guy, Salt Bay, like the guy with the meat, the salt. It's a dude. Like, cooking is not necessarily a feminine thing. Like, guys can like a lot of the best food I've ever eaten has been from dudes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can cook, to be honest. I cook a mean pasta dish. Like, it's nothing. It's just, it's embarrassing the way these women think that it's like, oh, it's so like, I can't cook, I'm gonna be proud of that. Oh, it's a. But I remember one time I was on a date with this. I remember one day I was on a date with this chick, an American chick, and I just like, pure, like, the initial small talk. I was like, oh, so can you cook? And she goes, oh, so you think I like to cook because I'm a girl? And I was like, okay, I didn't last long in that date. I tell you that much. I tell you that I just cannot. I like, if someone gives me that attitude, like on a date, like straight off, like gives me that kind of like, I'm like, especially now, like, especially now, but like back then, like when that happened, I wasn't even as like RP aware as I am now. I mean, I might have even been I had a bit more, let's say, blue pill in me. So, but I still like I did not tolerate that shit. I was like, oh man, it was the most annoying thing. But if any chicks ever give you attitude like that in a date, just get up and walk out. There's teach them a lesson. Like get up and walk out. Like if you're just asking, and I wasn't asking, like obviously I wasn't asking like to be sexist, or like I was. It was just an icebreaker. Like, oh, so what do you like to cook, or do you cook? But that's too much for these womanists. It's really pathetic. I mean, if you're an adult and you can't, if you're like in your 20s and you can't cook anything, you're pretty, like, I think, guy or girl, I think that's pretty pathetic anyway. um Basic survival skills, like what, like it's not even impressive. Like yeah, but yeah, Matt W says, facts, men are the best cooks. Running a huge kitchen is a masculine job. Yeah, man. If I mean, it's not easy to run a kitchen. It's a very stressful job, and you have to be. Yeah, it's not. I know it's. I don't even think it's that feminine. I don't think it's feminine. It's definitely not feminine to run a kitchen in a restaurant. Like you're getting burned with oil, and you're chopping shit, and you're getting like you know what I mean. Like chefs would, like, they'd get nasty cuts and shit, getting splashed in oil. I mean, honestly, I don't see women doing that, like those kind of jobs, very well. Another thing that's like overrated is the idea that women can multitask. What's that about? Like, what is that thing that women always say? Like, oh, yeah, what can you do better than men? Oh, we can multitask. Since when? Who said that women can like? In what situation can you multitask? Like, it's like, who came up with that? Like, give me an example of you multitasking better than men. I don't see it. Um, Matt W says, women cook good for their families, but under pressure and threat of death for an army or large group of soldiers, men are better, and we just get the job done. No excuses. 100%. C. Joel says, all the female chefs I've known here in Australia have been masculine as fuck and mostly lesbians. Okay. All right. C. Joel says, the feminine girls are usually on wait staff. Indeed. Yeah. Gabbery in the house. The chef who trained Gordon Ramsay is a beast. Yeah, I mean, to work in a proper restaurant, you have to be. It's seriously hard work. I've worked in kitchens before. It's not easy. But yeah. So let's see. A plan for undercover police officers to patrol bars and clubs in the UK to identify potential predatory or suspicious offenders has been blasted as the pub Stasi. That is crazy. Like, police officers, like, patrolling bars and clubs. I mean, already nightlife areas already have police. That's my point about, like, it's already illegal to harass, to, like, assault people in any way, shape, or form. So these are just extra laws to try and divide men and women from each other, to try and demotivate men from approaching women. It's kind of, and the guys that will obey these kind of laws are the beta guys anyway. So it's kind of, it's almost like they're trying to separate the beta guys even more. They're trying to, like, really demotivate them from making any kind of approaches. Dubbed Project Vigilant, the plan will see plainclothes officers attending areas around clubs and bars undercover, according to the London Evening Standard. I mean, there already are, there already should be police officers in nightlife areas to prevent assault or whatever, but this is different. This is trying to Another one of those things where they're just trying to divide men and women even more. The program is in response to the abduction and murder of 33-year-old Sarah Everard, who went missing in Clapham, London, earlier this month. Metropolitan Police Officer Wayne Cousins has been charged with her murder. Okay, so like I already said, that's terrible, but England's a pretty big country, millions and millions of people. There's obviously going to, like, no matter what you do, no matter what laws you bring in, there's still going to be, like, just because you bring in laws, like, it doesn't mean this you're just going to stop murders. Like, a murderer isn't going to be, oh, okay, I shouldn't approach a woman, so I'm not going to murder her. Like, obviously, if he's a murderer, he's going to do it regardless. So respondents on Twitter blasted Project Vigilant as a hastily put together knee-jerk reaction announced to satiate protesters who have gathered in London since the weekend, with some comparing it to the notorious East German Stasi. This Silky Carlos says, "This is an abhorrent idea that I refuse to believe any socialized woman had any put into. I would feel so deeply uncomfortable in a bar full of secret police. I expect men would too. Plainclothes police will patrol bars and clubs to protect women." Pretty based from a chick. Yeah, she's right though. I mean, like, it's just, it's just about control. Like all the laws that were brought into, as a result of the beer bug, it's all about control. 100%. So it's just garbage. Martin says, anybody who thinks undercover cops patrolling bars will be only used to protect women aren't paying attention. How many more liberties will we surrender before people wake up and realize we are becoming an authoritarian Stasi state that no longer resembles Britain? Pretty based. He's right. I mean, people willing to give up their liberties just to feel safe are the biggest cowards ever. Such a bunch of cowards, weakling twerps, giving up like freedoms. There's no one thing about this whole beer bug thing. Really, really exposed how cowardly humanity is. The majority of people are in Western societies. Is really exposed how just really cowardly people are, to be blunt about it. I mean, when I was used to post things on Facebook about how pathetic these lockdowns and restrictions are, I would get all these beta males, like guys that I went to college with, saying, like, I had one guy saying that he was such a oh man, I can't even say what I want to call this guy. I can't even say it on YouTube. I'll get banned. But let's just say I want to pile on abuse to him. But like I was basically just criticizing people getting their freedoms removed, and I think one of his replies was, the most embarrassing thing about my posts are that I think that I'm such a hard whatever, or that I think I'm really tough or something, and that just shows how pussified, like, the guy that wrote it. I know him, and I would think he's pretty much like the average guy, I would say in Ireland. And he's a good representation of how absolutely pussified like men have become, because he thought I was trying to be tough. He viewed my posts against the lockdowns and my genuine, like, hatred for that kind of these kind of restrictions and loss of liberty. He thought that I was posing, trying to be tough, trying to be a hard man. And that, like, really, oh man, I would, like, it's just so funny because he's so unbelievably wrong. Like he's just exposing how much of a pussy he is. Like and yeah, it's just funny, and I just couldn't deal. Like I just thought it was a waste of time dealing with those people. So I just deleted my Facebook. But it's just a good example of how absolutely pathetic your average Western male has become. And in a way, it's not a bad thing because it's not that hard to stand out and stand out above these guys. It's actually, in a way, it's easier to become a top shelf male, top shelf guy, because the average male is unbelievably pussified. Like they're serious cowards, real weaklings, really dumb, to be honest, too. Not very intellectually smart. They might have degrees, they might have a master's, that doesn't mean you're smart. You know what I mean? It just means you followed the rules. It just means you did the exams, you did what you were told. Doesn't mean you're smart. Um, so if anyone tells you, they did this, they got an arts degree or whatever, maybe having a some degree in a STEM field might show intelligence, but most people don't study, and most degrees are worthless, just pieces of paper. Um, Javier says, "Yeah, I keep hearing that nonsense a lot. Someone said it is because of them dealing with kids, but most don't even have kids or have too much kids for different guys." Uh, Matt W says, another retarded stereotype in games: the female characters are quick and stealthy, and the males are strong but slow. Bullshit. Women aren't fast or strong or smart as dudes. 100%. They're not. Yeah, they're not. It's yeah. I mean, pretty much any. I don't know. Pretty much any athletic sport, men will outdo um, will outdo women, and that's just a fact. Even in combat sports, I mean, probably like the best let's just say the best female MMA fighter. Call me out if I'm wrong, but I would say like an average guy that trains in the gym, could probably could probably like take her to town, very like beat her ass like in a minute. Even though it's like there was some the American soccer team, female soccer team. I think they were the world champions. I think at like a junior high school boys team beat them, and then they tried to save face by saying that it was just like a practice match, or it was this, that, and there. But we all know that, yeah, even boys will win against women. Yeah, so Matt says throwing something at a chick and say catch unexpectedly. 9 times out of 10, it hits her in the face, misses the catch, flinches. But do that to a guy, 10 out of 10 guys catch it, no problem. Yep, I agree with that. C. Joel says 15 days to slow the spread, by the way. Just 2 weeks, guys. Let's all stick together. Stay home, hashtag. Stay home, guys. Let's all get through this. Let's all get through this together. Oh man, when you're red pill aware, man, you just can't watch mainstream media. I remember way back. I think it was maybe in March, and there was this like they did this interview with a woman whose mother died from the beer bug, and she's an elderly lady. I guess that the woman they interviewed was she was in her 40s or something, but it was the most infuriating thing I'd ever seen, because it was like, if you said, oh, this is, I mean, if you criticized it in any way, you're just seen as a heartless, like, scumbag. But it's just pure outright propaganda how they use these like they find a case where, like, I mean, like I said, the woman that died was elderly, like in her 80s, or old woman, whatever. And they made it seem like it was this like insane, like huge tragedy, and it had this like one-on-one interview case, and they were like interviewing, oh, and just tell us what happened, like, and what did you do when you found out your mother had the beer bug, and she was sobbing and crying, and it was like, and it just like, yeah, it just pissed me off, because it's like people die, like people are always going to die, especially when you're elderly, and that's how people have always died. People die from, eventually what kills you is like some virus or something. And but for normies, that's like, that's just like they're just gonna believe that every time, and they're just gonna succumb to that emotional, what is it, emotional terrorism, emotional. But it does the opposite for me. It boils my piss, boils my blood. I'm like, it does the when you're red pill aware, it's like the opposite. It's like, instead of like become, oh, the poor woman, it's like, no, fuck that, like, fuck these cons. Obviously not saying that about I'm saying that about the media outlets who's organizing those interviews. Obviously they're just, normies, and they're being used as pawns, useful idiots. um you know um but it's just, that's what they do to control people. um yeah, if you ever look at the comment sections on some videos like that, you'll see how what whenever you see, some of these like propaganda videos, just look at the comment sections, and you'll be like, oh my, like, okay. They're definitely, red RP aware people are definitely extreme minorities. um uh Javier says they're just putting things in place to make their hypergamous filter autonomized. uh Gabriel says, I think a chick could do the elliptical longer than I can. Uh, Matt W says, top competitive shooters are female. They are very accurate when they can take their time. In combat, under pressure, though, nope, men dominate. Yeah, under pressure, that's when it counts. That is when it counts. C. Joel says, if it just saves one life, miss me with that BS, Grandma. Had a good innings at 85 years old. Yeah, I mean, it's just, fear porn. People love fear porn. But anyway, back to this. Yeah, I mean, people are just so willing to give up their liberties. James Bloodworth says, nightclub Stasi, what an appalling idea. And they'll probably go ahead with it. I'm sure they will. Undercover police officers in bars and clubs would appear to be a very bad idea. Quite Stasi-like. Well-trained door staff and bar staff, good licensing justices, and a strong landlord lady are much better ideas. Exactly, it's pretty, yeah. I mean, door, like, security. They already like I said at the start of this video, they already have all laws in place to combat assault and harassment. It's already illegal. It's like the hate speech laws. They're trying to bring in hate speech laws to control people's speech. It's not about trying to protect people anymore. It's about trying to control people more, trying to shut people up, trying to put people in their place, so they're not able to speak out, so they're not able to have an opinion. It's the same. It's like this. They're just trying to control people. They're trying to put a divide between men and women even more so. And yeah, it's working. Henry Bolton says, the idea of placing undercover police officers in pubs and bars is a mad, knee-jerk, ridiculous reaction. It's reminiscent of the Stasi in East Germany or the KGB in Soviet Russia. It's also a crazy and utterly inefficient use of police resources. They'll not be welcome in my local. Based. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable overreaction to like one murder. Oh, you're gonna like bring in like all these new like laws and restrictions, like such a yeah. And like I said already, they think that's going to stop um, murders, like and whatever. Um, it's not going to stop them. They're going to do it regardless. It just means that good people are going to get their liberties taken away from them, and people, normies, the unbelievable. The most frustrating thing is that like dull-minded, like dullards, will support these kind of dullards, and to be honest, let's be honest here, women, dullards and women are the ones that support this, because women like big government, they like control, they like they basically like you know, I've said this before, like feminism is another word for a flowery word for communism. They love it because it's just it suits their female imperative. Um, yeah, that's why they want. That's why they're like pro cuckoldry, trying to cuck men, trying to break the. It's. I think I don't know if I have to check this, but I think it is actually illegal for hospitals to tell the father, if the hospital finds out that the baby is not in fact the father's for some reason, the hospital cannot tell the father in certain countries. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Um, so it's like state sponsored cuckoldry. So if they're making that illegal for the hospital to tell the father that he is not the actual father's genetic biological father, the hospital will not tell the father, and that is written into law, and that is state sponsored cuckoldry. That is gynocentrism. That is a gynocentric state sponsored cuckoldry, and they're doing that, and it's hilarious. And it's like, um, I'll tell you, if I ever have a kid, I'm 100% gonna be I don't care under what circumstances. I'm getting a DNA test, even if I have a good relationship with the girl and all this, and I like her or whatever. I'm getting a test regardless. Like, even if the kid comes out and it looks, I'm gonna get a test. Like, regardless. Like, everyone should do that. Every single guy should get a test if he is the father of a child, without a doubt. And if that ever happens to me, I'm 100% gonna get a test. There's no way I wouldn't. Um, just it's just crazy. There's no way I'm raising another man's child. Not a hope. Not a hope. Um, Not a hope in hell. But yeah. The government has also vowed to increase CCTV surveillance coverage of streets in response to the murder. Meanwhile, there has been virtually zero campaigning on behalf of feminists to decriminalize self-defense. Under current UK law, it is illegal for anyone to carry pepper spray, with penalties similar to those charged with carrying a firearm. If left-wing activists really wanted to protect women, they'd lobby for laws that allow women to protect themselves. Instead, Everard's murder is yet another example of a tragic incident being turned into a moral panic and then exploited for all manner of selfish agendas, including new hate crime laws that target free speech in the name of preventing misogyny. Yeah, it's all to do with restricting freedoms, hate crime laws. It's the same shit's happening in Ireland. Same old garbage, trying to restrict people, hate crime, trying to bring in hate crime laws. Crazy stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I do not know what's going to happen, but they're going to keep pushing. Let's see. Problematic says, when did men get so emotional is what I want to know. Yeah, I don't know. When did men get so emotional? On that note, let me share something. That will show you This to show you how easy it is to become, to stand out above the average male. Let me just show you how like how beta sized, is that a word? Western men have become. Uh, okay, so this is your average. Look at how soy this guy is. This guy just must be chugging on soy morning, noon, and night. I might be depressed, but at least I'm not a Republican. Look at that, like, he just looks like a fucking marshmallow. He just looks so weak and soft. There's no way this guy can do one pull-up. I guarantee, I would bet $10,000 this guy can't do one pull-up. I'm telling you, he cannot do a pull-up. And this is like, there's just millions and millions and millions of Western men like this. Pure soy, pure and utter soy. They're just so weak. Um, Men are becoming more feminized and women are becoming more masculinized, and it's just, honestly, it's just repulsive. It's just repulsive in both regards. It's just obviously that no wonder the birth rates are going down, because women hate this and men hate masculine women, and there's just, they're not attracted to each other or repulsed by each other. It doesn't make for a healthy society. Harry says, I know people who took the vaccine who still wear masks afterward, and some of them were healthy before and got super sick after. Yeah, I mean, doesn't just, yeah, even, yeah, my sister got the vaccine, and I don't know, what can you do about it? You're not going to change it. Just the thing about being RP aware is you just look after yourself first and foremost, and just have a good circle of friends, even if it needs to be online, because you're not going to change people. People are really, a lot of people will spite you for trying to give them good advice. A lot of people will. A lot of people will throw it back in your face if you try and give them good advice. C. says, exactly, bro. Equal opportunity is the perfect ideology for someone who wants to remove personal responsibility and accountability. Yeah, equal outcome. Yes, equal outcome. Equal outcome. Equal opportunity is 100%. I agree with equal opportunity. Equal outcome is just disgusting. Equal outcome is just, that's communism. That is communism. It doesn't incentivize anyone to work hard to do better for themselves. Equal outcome is just wrong in so many regards. And these women, they want equal outcome. They want to, like, basically, equal outcome is like nurses wanting the same pay as brain surgeons. That's what these commies and feminazis want. That's what they want. That's actually what they want. They want equal, outcome, and it's a very, very, very bad idea. Very stupid idea. Henry says, what are your thoughts on sperm donating in the West to the spinster economy in the next 10 years? I think that men should charge insane amounts. They should not donate anymore. They should charge like high, I'm talking seriously high amounts of money for to sell their sperm. And that because why would you donate? Because that, women say, oh, they don't need men, they don't need men and all this stuff. And sure, women give birth, but men give the seeds. Men spread the seeds. And without that, nothing happens. Women control the birthing process, but also men are the ones that give the seed, so we control it too. um I think men, if everyone, if we lived in an RP aware society, men should just immediately stop donating sperm. Like stop it, like, and set up like sperm business, like business. If women want to like buy sperm, they gotta pay top dollar, $100,000 straight up for like for one of my nuts. Hundred, you know what I mean? Like, they should just stop. And if you're a high value, if you're a Chad, you can charge even more. If you're a top tier Chad, charge like 500,000 for fucking copy or spunk. Um, that they'll get back in line real quick once that happens. Real quick. Um, uh, da, 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 da. Yeah, but C. Jules says, I'm 6'3" with great metabolism and no baldness in the family. What could I charge for my sperm? There's some good stats. Good stats indeed. Easily, yeah, easily 500K. You could actually like do that. I mean, there was some dude in, I think it was somewhere in the Netherlands. Some dude, and he fathered like, he was like some Chad. He looked like some good looking guy, and he fathered like, I think it was either hundreds or thousands of kids, because so many women wanted his sperm. So yeah, no, milk the system, milk the system. Uh, a whole generation of women who've been told they can have their cake and eat it too. They've been sincerely fucked over. They have been intensely fucked over. Spark55 says, Mac, your sister might be infertile as they did human trials. 71 out of 75 women became infertile. It is what it is, man. I mean, you swallowed the blue pill, pay the price. Sad, but, can't say, you know, it's just like the price has to be paid for being like, karma is real. The sad thing is a lot of people are just not, they just don't have the intelligence. Like they're just not smart, and they don't question, they don't use their critical thinking skills, and they just go along with whatever they're exposed to, basically. uh, they go along with the side that they deem to be winning. That's the unfortunate thing, about, especially about women, because women basically don't have any morals. Like, not saying that I have many either, but like, no, but I do have principles for sure. Um, no, but the thing about women is they don't actually have any kind of, they just want to be on the winning side. So they'll think whatever side they perceive to be winning, they will choose, they will side with. So that's why all these womanists and progressives, and they don't actually have any, they don't, it's not that they think that they're, you know saving the day, or they just think they're on the winning side. It's just a self-preservation thing. It's evolution, really. They're just trying to protect themselves. It's solipsism. It's narcissism, really. It's just, they're just looking out for themselves. They think, I have to join this winning side, or else I'm going to be in trouble, or I'll be in danger, or something. That's basically it. Javier says, guys get thousands of dollars for doing your sexual strategy and have NDAs. I'm not sure what NDAs are. Javier said, I just looked it up. Depopulation strategy confirmed in my head. Sparks 55 said it was 61 out of 65 women. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, they would, I don't know under what circumstances I would take that vaccine. They would have to force it on me. It would have to be like there's no way I'm taking that vaccine unless like they really have to force me to do it. Um, and it's sad too because it's like if they bring in some laws to you know if they bring in some kind of vaccine passport, it's like I guess I'm not going to be able to go back to Ireland. It's like that sucks. That's like it's pure tyranny. It's pure scummish, man. It's you know that's honestly why I despise these like these it's these idiots the useful idiots. It's like you can say, oh yeah, they're not smart, it's not really their fault, but then when you think like they're the ones that are kind of enabling the elites to follow through with these these globalist plans, you really start to develop a hatred for them because it's like oh you because they wouldn't the elites wouldn't get away with it if everyone was like oh this is bullshit, no way, like people were smart, but it's because of these useful idiots that are the ones that in my comment section that were in my comment section on Facebook and saying oh you just think you're a tough guy, you just think you're a tough guy because you're going against these lockdowns, you see dirty little weasel bastards. See, like it's the least contrived thing ever. When I say I despise these lockdowns, I swear like it's there's no I'm not posturing, I'm not fronting, I'm not it's so genuine, trust me. I honestly I want to beat someone's ass if they come in front of me and tell me I'm faking it just like to look for attention. Honestly, I'd love to beat someone's ass for like to say it because I'm so genuine, so genuinely hate these restrictions and lockdowns, um, and therefore I hate people that enable it, and that's unfortunately that's a lot. That's the majority of people. Um, uh, Fireman in the house says they're manipulating the women first, then the men follow. Indeed, 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 they are. Men usually follow, trying, just to try and appease women, try and get into women's good books, trying to score the brownie points, trying to look good, trying to simp, but it doesn't work. It does not work. Simping does not pay. Simping never pays, guys. That's one thing that's like 100% does not pay. These guys don't get laid. You can do all the simping in the world you want, but at the end of the women are still gonna fuck the chads, They're still gonna go and fuck the chads. It doesn't matter how much you simp, you know. Um, it's just you just look pathetic if you go and simp on the internet. If you go and simp, trying to stand up for women's rights. I'm a male feminist, you just look really pathetic, and women will think that you're kind of women will actually think you're disgusting. They will a lot of times they won't say it, but that's what they'll actually think. And let me find an example of that. I had a good example of some guy simping and just people being disgusted by it. Okay, here's a good example of it. Let me get it up. Share the screen of an absolutely weakling twerp simping. All right, so let me see. This guy says, I think men should take a day off Twitter sometime soon to show we understand the horrors facing women. The downside of this will be that women will realize how great it is here without us. But realistically, they're smart. They already know this. Ian Morris. What an absolute scumbag. What an absolute... That guy is like... that guy is really never trust a guy like that. This guy is a real dirtbag. But no, even the chicks in the comment section says, I'd be grateful if you'd stay off Twitter all other men can stay though. Women do not like simps, and even these, even these like womanists, even these like progressive women that they might even pretend that yeah, you're so brave and stunning, but deep in their heart, they will be revolted by men like this. Never be like this is like the worst case scenario to end up like this. I'd rather be a terrible man. I'd rather be a bad motherfucker than be like this. Like I'd rather people call me an asshole. Like I'd really genuine um just simping does not pay. Um this guy's based. He says, "You realize women don't find this attractive, right? Women don't like simps. This tweet has tested negative for testosterone. So many base comments here. They still won't shag you, mate. And that's a fact. They will not shag. They will not. They just won't. Um, Simping never pays, guys. It just cannot be done. Um, yeah, but I don't know, guys. Um, Honestly, on the upside, it's it's like it's more for us. Like, if you're RP aware, game, and you understand female nature and everything about it, and you're trying to become a high value man, it's just more pussy for you. It's just like, it's like Genghis Khan levels of pussy. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's like insane levels of pussy, guys. It's just like, because once you become into, like, it's easy to stand above these like, soy boys and like, beta males and simps and white knights, and it's easy just to be a genuinely masculine guy that just sees the world for what it is. And you're just going to be able to attract a lot of women because you're a man. You're not like a simp. You're not denying your male nature. You're not denying reality. You're not denying their nature. Um, Honestly, I'm loving it, man. I'm just enjoying it. You just watch these guys simp and just get no pussy. But yeah, guys. Let me see. Let me see. So yeah, let me share this. Let me just share my website. Let me see. Yeah, guys. So this is my website. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but I don't know. Obviously, I'm on YouTube, and I cannot. There's a lot of things I cannot say. I have to kind of bite my tongue, even though I'm really bad at it. Bad at biting my tongue, and but if you want to get like content that where I can really speak my mind and not have to censor my speech, you can consider getting on the premium content where you get access to blog content where I write about game, what I get up to here in Tokyo, like photography game. A lot of stuff I can't show on YouTube. So you get full access to articles about day game and how to pick up girls, exclusive access to photography content and stories about how I picked up and continue to pick up girls through day game and photography game, X-rated content, in-field stories about my own personal experiences, access to Telegram chat, gain exclusive access to Telegram group chat where you will be able to contact me for advice anytime, along with any other like-minded members. And a 1 monthly webinar on Zoom, 2-hour webinar on game. Dates and times will be decided according to the members. I don't know, guys. So if that's something that interests you, get in there. It's going to be different to YouTube because obviously YouTube is, quite restrictive with what I can say and show. But yeah, that is that. So lastly, I will show today's hot Japanese girl of the day. Today's hot Japanese girl is this chick. A lot of a lot of there's an idea out there that Japanese girls aren't curvy, but trust me, guys, you can find curvy Japanese girls. Like seriously, like it's you just they're a little less um they're not as easy to find, but you can they're definitely out there. I mean, I've been with plenty of curvy. I've been with like let's just say I've been with girls like this, like with this kind of body type, like plenty of times. Let me just say, it's as amazing as it looks. Because let me tell you, the quality of Japanese women, their body, like let's just say they take care of their bodies very well. They take care of their bodies extremely well. Um, Almost, I'd say like 90% of Japanese girls have their like nails done, like properly done, not like these cheap like fake stuff, but um, so there are curvy Japanese girls, guys, curvy Asian girls. Um, you just have to see it. You have to come over and see it, and it's a good time. But I kind of like them when they're a little bit ratchet, to be honest. But that's just my kind of preference. Well, yeah, guys, that is today's hot girl. That is today's episode of going to be today's episode of Player Life. But if you get a chance, when things open up, and hopefully they do, guys. Hopefully things open up, and we can travel again. Hope we're not going to change it, but hopefully they don't bring in shitty things like what do you call, like vaccine passports and all that. But if you ever guys get a chance to come over to Tokyo, you can meet up, show you the ropes. It's a good time. But Matt W says, yeah, that's how a big ass should look. Tiny waist above it and no cellulite. 100%. 100%. And if you've ever been with a Japanese girl, they have like the silkiest, smoothest skin. It's amazing. So when they have a juicy ass, it's like, honestly, guys, it's a heavenly thing. Seriously have a tiny little waist, guys, and a juicy ass. It's amazing. Yeah, guys. So good stuff. So I'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of Player Life. So yeah, guys, hit me up. Check out the links in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah. Join my premium content. Get in there. But yeah, guys, peace out. Have a good one. Bye bye.